to make sure, I think, Jean, you can hear me, my video as well. My screen is being shared. And I'm not sure if my video is actually showing, but can you confirm that my video is showing as well?
Your video is showing very well.
Okay, to make sure, I think, Jean, you can hear me, my video as well. My screen is being shared. And I'm not sure if my video is actually showing, but can you confirm that my video is showing as well?
Your video is showing very well.
Okay, to make sure, I think, Jean, you can hear me, my video as well. My screen is being shared. And I'm not sure if my video is actually showing, but can you confirm that my video is showing as well?
Your video is showing very well.
Okay, to make sure, I think, so as I'm sharing there, we're also live on YouTube right now, and I brought the video in and it was kind of echoing, so I'm just going to shut that off. But so before we proceed here, thank you all, everyone, for joining us. And if you're joining us on the webinar, great. If you are joining us via the YouTube, thank you again for joining today. Our topic is really, we're going to keep this short to about 20 to 30 minutes. It's what every government contractor needs to know about CMMC and how to become certified and not lose contract award. So in essence, government contractors, we are now, there are requirements, additional requirements that we need to meet as a government contractor. So if you're on this call, the main goal here is to kind of just give you some awareness on what's out there, what's coming, and also to just let you know what are some of the preparations that you're making to ensure that you are not left behind and you don't lose opportunity. So with that, I'm just going to go ahead. What are we going to learn today? The goal here today is that we're going to see what is CMMC. Again, CMMC started. What is CMMC? And I'm just going to kind of a little rush through it. Hopefully, it will not be too rushy, but at the same time, is to kind of share my screen. I'm going to actually stop the presentation like this, and I'll share my screen so that we can jump into the slides from one end to another, just to make sure that I can jump around and cover things. So Jean, you can see my screen. I can't see myself for some reason, so it's a little bit uncomfortable, but that's okay.
Yes, we can see you and your slides well as well. Yeah.
All right, so for those of you that are watching, again, what is CMMC? CMMC is basically cyber security maturity model certification. And basically, that is a certification that the government has, again, as a small government contractor, you've already accepted that you're going to keep information secure. So CMMC is basically a way that the government is going to be using to measure that you are doing what you said you are doing. But first of all, again, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Femi Dada. I'm the president and CEO of Smart Design Technologies. I also have with us today Jean. Jean is senior cybersecurity audit compliance personnel specialist with certification that goes beyond my, those acronyms. And also, if we have the pleasure, I'm not sure, Moses will be joining us very shortly. So he's also the project manager and account manager here at Smart Design. So Moses, when you join us, let us know. So today, basically, who am I? Femi Dada. I've been in this business now since 2006. We are a government contractor. We support small and medium-sized businesses with their IT and as well with their cybersecurity initiatives. So in essence, we provide worry-free IT support and cybersecurity support for small business. Majority of our clients are government contractors. And one thing that is happening, obviously, as the industry is changing, they are being required to meet all kinds of requirements, and CMMC is one of those requirements. So to the point, again, all out of everything that I'm going to say, one thing I'm going to have to leave you with is that I'm talking from a standpoint of experience. I'm an MSP. We have a government contracting business. We are successful running our business, and the implementation and things that we do in-house is some of where my experience is coming from, so that I can share that with you, and you can, as a business owner, make the proper decision moving forward to make sure you can secure your current contract and win additional contract as well in the future. One of the things I always share is this quote here: "Success breeds complacency. Complacency breeds failure. Only the paranoid survive." This is Andrew Grove, former CEO of Intel. Again, as we get successful, again, including me, we get successful or we grow our businesses, we become kind of a little bit comfortable. And that, with what Andrew is saying here, is that, that brings complacency. And I've been telling my team here and myself, we don't want to be complacent. We want to stay on it and be the best that we can, supporting our customers. And the same way, as a business owner, you want to stay on top of it, because if you feel that, yeah, I've got all the success and things that I'm doing, everything is working great, then something else comes up and you become complacent. So I think the goal to really continuous success, is being just agile and being very responsive. So with that said, as you guys know, being a government contractor, the second thing about that is just compliance. You have to, there are certifications, compliance that you have to meet, that you have to keep up with. And one of those is basically CMMC. And today, that's why we're here. But first of all, sometimes people may ask, okay, why CMMC? Why is the government making life so difficult? Or what exactly, why do we have to do this? But the point is that over the years, there's been Cold War, there's been, cybersecurity warfare, which is going on even now. National security is at stake, election security from prior years, as you guys know. Dark web, your information as citizens of the United States are on the dark web, and bad guys are buying that information and they're using it to steal data and information, credit card from you. At the same time, the US is competing in the world stage. There are a lot of companies do not want the US to be successful. They do not want the United States to be the dominant leader in the world. It's not that that's a bad thing. I mean, the US is a leader in the global stage, and US is a responsible country that abide by rule of law and, tries to make sure, in the pursuit of happiness and, for everyone. However, there are other countries that are just, that are suppressing their own people and all these things like that, and they'll feel that they have to get the edge. And what they've been doing up until now is that they've been stealing United States information, and they're stealing that information from you and I, business owners that are doing business with the government. So in other words, the government needs to make sure that this information is secure, and that comes about what is called FCI and CUI. FCI is Federal Contracting Information. CUI is Control Unclassified Information. These are the very two types of information that every government contractor needs to secure. That is an executive order 13526 that was issued by the previous administration. So in other words, here it is. It's a law that we have to secure CUI and FCI. So that brings me to my next slide. So what is CMMC? So CMMC initially, my slide is even dated. Initially, CMMC came out, or it's still not fully out yet, but it was a five maturity level, which is level 1, level 2, and level 5, as you can see on the screen. And each level has their unique controls, that requirement that you need to fulfill to certify that level. But after 6 months and after a year or so into the program, the government revamped the process, and they now streamline it into 3 levels, which is level 1, level 2, and level 3. As you see in my other slide here, this slide is actually one of the old ones, but as you can see on this one here, now CMMC is level 3. And in the level 1, you have to meet 17 compliance practices. And in level 2, you have to meet the 800-171, which includes 101 practices. And of course, level 3 is actually still being determined right now. So in other words, they've laid down the groundwork for what needs to happen. And now it is onto us as businesses, organizations, to make sure that we do what is needed to become certified. So you may now ask and say, okay, what is level 1? So level 1 has those 17 controls, and those are just the minimum. In fact, if you're running a great business now, that you have some basic security in place, you just like you will not leave your doors open when you leave the house. Level 1 is something that every organization should be able to meet. And the way also, just to let you know, with level 1, it's a self-certified. So level 2 is certified by a 3PAO. So we internally at SmartHost Design, we've actually begun the process. We are already level 1 ready, but we need to upload our information into SPAIR so that we can show that we've got those controls in place. So if you're going for the level 2, which requires the keeping of CUI, then you will need to make sure that you get certified by a third-party organization. So my question now is that, so what is your strategy? What is your business strategy around CMMC? How are you going to go about getting CMMC? Are you going to do it yourself as your organization internally, or are you going to consult with a third-party company like your IT support company or managed service company, just like ourselves? One thing that we've been doing in-house here at SmartHost Design is that we are a unique MSP. We are a managed service provider and also a managed security service provider. What makes us different is also that we are a government contractor. So if you're a government contractor on the call watching this video, we know exactly the kind of situation and the pain that you go through. And we ourselves, we are required to meet CMMC level 2. So we begin that journey in-house. I think Gene is going to share a little bit about his experience, because he's the one really manhandling our process. And it's been great. And I really I'll give him some time to chime in here so that it's not just going to be only me talking about this. So in-house here, we begin that process. Gene has begun working on that, and he's seen all of the challenges. So as a small business, do you have the resources in-house? Do you have the expertise in-house? So if you don't have those expertise, just give me 1 second here. I'm about to sneeze. I'm about to cough, I should say. But anyway, so Gene, I guess I'm going to just take a moment to just ask you, so far, all the stuff that you've been doing, all the document SSP security plan that we put together, that we are close to uploading. Tell us a little bit about some of the challenges that you have seen, or what would you say? Is it something that someone can do by themselves?
Yes, Femi, thank you so much. I think you've covered so much ground already. I'm sure that really you're becoming an expert yourself, which is
really
okay. Which is what I would like to share with those who are listening out there. That like you covered initially. First and foremost, it's important to understand that from the change between CMMC 1.0 to CMMC 2.0, it's important that we understand that CMMC is now called it's actually a compliance. We call it the CMMC compliance levels, no longer certification levels. And this has a lot of implications as we go along, because you'll be required to do an assessment from level 1, level 2, and level 3. And there are different factors that come in when you're doing an assessment, which is very important. Why I'm going to talk about the compliance. Like you said, in-house, what we've been able to see, what are the challenges that people need to look out for. It's very important that people understand that there are several dimensions when it comes to CMMC compliance. And here in-house, we have the SmartHost Cyber Shield compliance package. And what this package does is, I'm just going to mention 2 dimensions to this compliance level that people need to be aware of. The first one has to do with the implementation. And when you talk about implementing CMMC controls, like you said, Femi, from level 1 up to level 3, there are important tools that you need. And this is what the Cyber Shield program in-house does. It provides some tools that our customers or clients can use to to fast track this process. So the first dimension is the implementation phase. But the other key component to this compliance is the documentation. Once you implement the tools, you're good with your controls. There are technical languages, or there's a technical language rather that you will need to know in order for you to document the implementation of controls. And this has to be done very well so that when it comes to assessment, whatever the government is looking for, whatever DoD is looking for, it's properly documented. So you don't want to implement controls using, what the tools that you can find, but at the end of the day, if you don't have the ability to communicate that to the feds, then you're still not compliant. So there are two dimensions. One is the tools that you use to get those controls implemented, and also to be able to communicate that by documenting them properly. And so in-house, we have a process that we do from getting your policy documentation to those procedures, the procedural documents. We have a package that really speaks to that. And I'm sure as we go along, Femi, I'll be able to jump in whenever you need me to clarify on some of these dimensions and what they really mean. I think you're muted.
Yeah. No, thank you, Gene, so much. You kind of let the cat out of the bag, but that's fine. The Smart Host CMMC Cyber Shield, it's really our solution. Way back before even CMMC became a prospect, a compliant, not a compliance yet, but before the CMMC process began, we put in a solution or package to help our customers secure their network. So once we began hearing about CMMC, we fine-tuned that and make sure that it's a product that really talks specifically to CMMC and meet those CMMC requirements. So Gene kind of alluded to that. I'll be sharing a little bit more about that as we go on this. So the question that I was asking before is that what is your strategy as a company? Because you do need a strategy, you do need a way to go about getting compliant with CMMC, because if you are not compliant with CMMC, and by the way, the final rule making is going to be released in March. So right now there is a lot of running around on social media and all kind of places about CMMC. So there are a lot of companies, big and small, offering, CMMC. Again, I can't speak for them, but I know for a fact that, I can speak for ourselves as our solution. So the Smart Host CMMC, the Smart Host Cyber Shield solution is really a response to the CMMC requirement. And what we put together here, we have some tools and resources that we're using to meet our own compliance requirement. And how easy would that be to take that and help implement our customers' requirement? So that's really what that is. So at the end of the day, the bottom line is that you need to become serious about protecting your current contract and setting yourself up for future awards. So CMMC Smart Host Design Cyber Shield is really a three-step process. It's basically where we meet with you, we assess your system, and we help you determine the gaps that you have right now, or even if you haven't implemented anything at all, we'll help you with that and come up with some kind of what we call, say, security gap analysis. From that, you will know what is it that you need to implement for whatever level that you need to meet. In this case, level 1, which is a self-certification, or level 2, and then level 2 where you get a third-party certification process. So this is all broken down into our process. We're tweaking this around because, again, as we go along, we're learning from our process and how much time it takes to put that in. And as Gene mentioned, it's a tedious process. It's a process that needs to be carefully looked at. So basically, that's what our solution is all about. And Gene here, I was trying to just bring up a few of the slide, the document, but I can't seem to grab it here. I didn't have it on here. If I can share that with some of the viewers today, that would be great. So just give me 1 second, or perhaps Gene, okay, let me 1 quick second. Okay, yep, I think I have it here. So what I just wanted to do right now is to share a spreadsheet or tracking. We have another system online that we use to track this. So if you can still see my screen, this is just the scope of CMMC. As you see, we've defined the scope. So the first thing we do is that we come in, we meet with you, whether virtually or in person, we define the scope of your CMMC requirement. And then we have the controls in place. Whether you're going for level 1 or level 2, we have the requirements broken down into this spreadsheet. I know it's a little small on your screen, but trust me, this is a live document that we're using. And as you can see, we've got most of our screen here into green with a few exceptions here that we're working on. And once this is done, so once we meet with you, we review what your CMMC level requirement is. We generate a document like this. We also have this all set online where you can also participate in a collaborative fashion. And then we go through that, making sure that you guys have the controls in place. We've invested in some technologies, including one that we just acquired recently that we're helping our customers with to really make sure that controls are in place to meet each and every one of those requirements. We're really excited, and really, I wanted to just, again, if you're a government contractor on the call or watching this even if as you're watching this, if you have questions or things like that, I will kind of encourage you to maybe reach out to us, and perhaps we may be able to assist. So that's, again, how we are doing it. I don't want to go into a detailed specifics of each particular requirement. I think today's call is not really for that. On some future calls, I'm going to dive into one of these controls or, these controls one by one to kind of just maybe spend 15 minutes to share a little bit what is it that they are really looking for in those. And again, I will have expertise as like someone like Jane to be able to assist. I think we have the awesome privilege of Moses has joined us. So I'll let Moses say hi here real quick, if he can.
Yes. Hello, everyone. It's nice to be on the call again, as always. Femi, you're doing a great job. Jean, thanks for your expertise. Everything that you have explained is kind of well received. And I believe that all those who are watching and listening in will be able to understand from all of this explanation and presentation that we've done to help their businesses grow. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Thank you, Moses. I'm glad that you could join. It seems like you're on the road somewhere, but that's good as well. That's part of being a team. I appreciate your effort. So you may be on the call, you may be wondering what's the catch. Okay, there's really no catch. We're trying to help. We're an MSP, MSSP, and we're a government contractor, and we're trying to help other people do the same thing. And we have the expertise in-house and the talent and the controls, implementation, and we want to help. So what I'm really offering now is that if you're watching this and you feel that you need assistance or you want to learn more, please feel free. Just send an email to cmmc@smartosdesign.com. Once you send that email to cmmc@smartosdesign.com, someone on my team will reach out to you, schedule a meeting, we'll do a discovery and see where that takes us. No strings attached. It's not a sales call or anything like that. It's just going to be a way to communicate, to kind of get an understanding of where you are, where you're trying to go, and we'll work with you if we can. And if we cannot, we will shake hands and, we all will go our separate ways. So that's how we like to do things. So it's basically a strategic approach where we'll listen and see where you're trying to go, like I said, and then decide how we may be able to work together. So once again, if you're watching us, I appreciate it. If you want to learn more, if you have any information or questions at all, please feel free to shoot those questions to me or to cmmc@smartosdesign.com, and we'll take it from there. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. It has been a pleasure to be able to share a little bit more information. Please share this video with your friends and colleagues, and stay tuned. Watch us on this YouTube channel, and we will also have another video next week. Another presentation next week that will dive into the controls. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.